Hello everyone, and welcome to my review for Kengan Omega Chapter 112. Before I get into this week's review, I of course have to mention that I now have 2 copyright strikes on the channel, so if I get a third one at any point in the next 3 months or so, that'll be the end of the channel. So as a precaution, I've created a backup channel. I've been uploading my Record of Ragnarok and Berserk Arc reviews on there. I'll probably be moving Kengan and Jujutsu Kaisen over there at some point, just so I can keep doing them over there uninterrupted. So you should go and subscribe to that channel. I have it linked in the description. After that, you know the usual, my subscriber goal for 2021 hitting 5,000 by the end of the year, and my Patreon. We have 2 tiers, a $1 tier for shoutouts, and a $5 tier for extra content, so if you're interested in that, you should go check it out. I have it linked in the description. So with that out of the way, let's get on with the review. This week's chapter is pretty interesting for a few reasons. The big one is that it might be over, like the fight may be over. I'm not really sure. I don't quite think so. I think a few people are jumping the gun and thinking that it is. I think Nitoku's jumping the gun and thinking that it is. But we will have to see in the next few chapters. But the other reasons mostly involve Liu and some flashbacks, but not on Liu's part. Instead, it's a flashback on Carlos's part. He flashes back to talking to Naidan before having to fight Liu himself. Now, first off, it's nice to see Naidan again. Once again, I think he is one of the better members of Purgatory that we've seen. The other thing is, I really like seeing this interaction between Carlos and Naidan. Something I've really liked is a lot of the interactions and relationships between Purgatory members, and I don't think we've really gotten to see a lot of it. So getting to see, just this conversation between Carlos and Naidan in the past is really nice. It kind of fleshes out the Purgatory team a bit more. As I mentioned when he came back a few chapters ago, it's really nice to see Carlos again and just kind of get more stuff out of his character. I'm hoping we'll get that with some of the other Purgatory fighters. Jiroda would be nice. Let's see, who else? Falcon, of course. I'm hoping we'll see more of Nicholas. So yeah, that's all good. Now, the reason that Carlos is going to Naidan is because he wants to know why Liu was able to beat Naidan. He says that Naidan was among the upper ranks of the A rank in Purgatory. Like, it would be faster to count the people above him than the people below him in A rank, which means Naidan is one of the strongest members of the A rank. Kind of figured, because Naidan is pretty strong, but the fact that Liu was able to beat him shows that Liu is also pretty strong. So how exactly was he able to do that? Because Carlos didn't seem to think that Liu would have been able to beat Naidan normally, which is actually something brought up, is that if they fought like 10 times, Naidan would probably win the majority of the time. But when Liu has his gears turning, which I guess means when he's going all out, when he's fully focused, he is among the strongest people in Purgatory, which is why he was able to beat Naidan. We go back to the fight in the present, where we see that after landing that double kick, Liu gets an opening and manages to actually get a knockdown on Nitoku. So the fight just kind of goes on from there after Nitoku gets back up. And as I mentioned last week, the choreography in this fight is really good so far. It's about as good, if not better, than I had expected. However, at the end of the chapter, after Liu has been redirecting a bunch of Nitoku's strikes, Nitoku grabs him by the shoulder and does this fucking throw. This throw. I don't think it has a name. I'm looking at Shadow King Requiem's translations, and it seems like the text on the page is just Nitoku's narration. So there's no name for this. But this fucking throw, it's like a suplex. This is like a fucking German suplex, almost. It leaves Liu laying in a crater on the floor of the arena. And Nitoku says that, a battle is won by him who is firmly resolved to win it, so that's why you lost. So, the commentators say that Liu has been knocked down. There has been no sort of official call that he's out, that he's unconscious. We haven't seen Alyssa start doing the countdown. This seems to mostly just be Nitoku, you know, being cheeky and saying, like, you're gonna lose. You've lost already because of your terrible decisions. This could be the end of the fight. I mean, this has happened before, you know, first round, second round. Yeah. I guess kind of the 6th or 7th round, because we didn't get an official call until after that chapter, and there was still debate over whether or not Alan would also be disqualified because of the knife. So it could be over, I guess. However, considering the fact that we just got into some of the explanations for Liu's fighting style, and his previous fight with Nidon, I feel like this isn't the end of the fight, and this is instead going to be the opportunity for us to actually get into Liu's backstory, because Liu will be having a flashback as he slips in and out of unconsciousness after this fucking ungodly suplex that he just got slammed with. So it could be over, but I'm skeptical about it actually being over. I have a feeling it's not. I find it more likely that it's not over yet, because it would also be really short. It would only have been like 3 chapters, so that'd be pretty short. And I don't think this fight is going to be one of those. I still think we're going to have a little bit going. Once again, we didn't get any sort of indication that Nitoku is part of the worm, so once again, maybe he's actually not, and this is just 2 guys fighting each other, or, once again, as some people have suggested, if Nitoku is the worm on the Kengan team, we're not going to find out about it until after the competition, and it won't really play a factor into this fight, which isn't bad. I don't mind having, like, these fights where there's no worm nonsense involved. In fact, I like having these fights where the worm doesn't have anything to do with it. It's just 2 dudes fighting. It's like being back in Asura. So, yeah, I still am more willing to bet money on Liu winning, just because we have this underdog thing going. Like, it's been Liu trying to beat Nitoku, and Nitoku being much stronger than him from the start, pretty much. So I feel like we're in more of a position for Liu to turn things around and win. But who knows? Who knows what'll happen? God knows Sandrovich likes to have his big ol' subversions. So I don't know what'll happen. And we still have to consider how that would play into the score for the tournament. There are still 4 matches left, including this one. And I think they're tied. So this could lead to a tie. Who knows? If I had to guess, I do find it more likely that Purgatory is going to win. It's possible that Liu may lose this round so that we can get the other Purgatory fighters winning. I don't know. We'll have to see, though. I kind of doubt they would have 3 Purgatory fighters win in a row. I doubt they would have any team win 3 rounds in a row. So we'll have to see what happens. I do find it more likely that Lelong wins his fight than any of the other 2 that are remaining. However, if Liu does lose here, I could see either Faye or Tarashi winning their fights. So who knows what'll happen. So yeah, with that, that's all I have to say for this week's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Kengan Omega chapter reviews every week. And once again, if you enjoy my content, you should go and subscribe to my backup channel. I have it linked in the description, just in case something ends up happening to this channel at some point in the next 3 months. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok and Jujutsu Kaisen, I do videos on those series as well, so you can check out either of my channels for videos on those. Since it's the end of the video, it's time to give a shout out to my wonderful patrons: Archbear, CJ2K, Fuse, Neo, Dejan Redden, Anthony Chavez, Honey Mustard, Zach Rowitz, K-God, Chris Redfield, Scratch23, and Moonshadow935. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. And if you too want to get shoutouts at the end of videos, or access to reviews for Solo Leveling and The Boxer, you can always become a patron as well. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care.